She's one of the most trusted educators in the additive-free tequila space, known for breaking down complex production methods and calling out the real from the fake. We dive into her journey from the tequila enthusiast to one of the most respected voices in the industry. From her favorite under-the-radar bottles to her stance on celebrity brands, this conversation is all about truth, taste, and tequila transparency. Let's get into it. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it to your social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. On this episode of Tactical Tequila Podcast, we're joined by someone who bridges both worlds of corporate strategy and the agave culture. She is the creator of Tequila Encyclopedia and also the host of Tequiladies, two platforms reshaping how people experience tequila one post at a time. With an MBA in hand and a full-time professional career outside of the spirits world, she brings a unique blend of business acumen, sharp taste, and a cultural respect that everyone admires.
Feels like a eulogy, but keep going.
Well, I mean, I'm a little monotone, but
No, I'm saying like this is very nice. Keep it rolling in. All right.
Marissa, thanks so much for being on the show. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Just to get into things from the beginning, just tell us kind of how you got into the world of tequila and what inspired you to start Tequila Encyclopedia.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different iterations, but the highlights on this are I never really drank in high school and college. Like, just wasn't much of a drinker in my earlier years. And my family had been going to Mexico for like 20 years. And during that time, my family would try tequila. I wasn't really into drinking, so I didn't really try. I'd try a little bit, but it wasn't a big draw. Then my mom read the book, The Patron Way, which is a book about how Patron was founded. And it also has like a love story, like interlaced into it. And with that, of course, she started drinking more tequila. And then, I love my mom and I always just want to be just like her. So I drank a little bit more tequila. And then once pandemic hit, I sort of, we all sort of retreated to different chat rooms and things. And I was a part of this tequila group called the Agave Squad. As my mom was on her journey learning about tequila, I started getting on my journey learning about tequila. And as I started posting about tequila on my personal Instagram, I got invited to the Agave Squad. So as I'm in this Agave Squad, I'm like listening to people's like chats. I'm like picking up a little bit of it. Then I start participating in some of the chats. Then I start leading some of the chats. And from there, it just kind of took off. And then I started getting a bunch of people requesting to follow my private personal account. And I thought, I might want to separate this a little bit. I don't think these people need to be looking at pictures of my dog and like my golf swing and all sorts of like stuff. So I made Tequila Encyclopedia because now at this point, my family and friends had started calling me Tequila Encyclopedia. It was kind of like a joke. I also really love rhymes. It's not a perfect rhyme, but good enough. So then I made that account and that's sort of where it started from there. Yeah, I mean, those are the highlights. There's other things in it too. Like when I was in Cabo with my family, I tried Cava de Oro, which was, it's very sweet, but for me now, for my palate now, it's a little sweet. But back then it was like the tequila that got me to like shook me. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And I got to visit Cava de Oro. It's one of the first distilleries I ever went to. So it's all been very full circle, but frankly, just like anything in life, it just opportunities and weaving through and just being nice and learning along the way, kind of. I guess that's the best way to put it.
So that kind of leads into my next question. Would you say that Cava de Oro was the specific bottle, or was there a specific bottle besides that, or a specific moment that just kind of flipped the switch for you from, casual sipping to a deep appreciation?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think for me, when I started getting into tequila, everyone always liked Don Julio 1942. It was like a thing. And so when I moved to San Francisco, one of my really good friends surprised me. She didn't live in San Francisco, but my first day of work, she said, "Hey, you should really go to this bar across the street." And I was like, "I don't know. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, I don't know anyone here." She goes, "You should really go to this bar across the street after work." So I go there. She's standing there with a bottle of Don Julio 1942. And when I then moved out of San Francisco, I got another bottle of 94. It was like our celebratory tequila. And so when I ended up trying Cava de Oro, which is ostensibly better than Don Julio 1942, but similar profile, that is when it clicked for me because I'd been drinking 42 for so long and waking up with hangovers and things because, of course, there's so many like added sweeteners and stuff. But when I tried Cava de Oro, I really liked that. And I really liked the story behind it. And I really liked Sip Tequila and meeting Keith and like all those wonderful people. And so that to me, frankly, was like the tequila that sort of kicked it off. But along the way, I've learned a lot through different brands, and those moments come from different tequilas at different parts of the journey.
During your journey, what's basically your mission with the platform? Are you more focused on education, advocacy, or somewhere in between?
So I like to say, come for the tequila, stay for the tequila laughs, because I think the best way to educate is to make people laugh. And so I like to make jokes and make it lighthearted and like let people feel like they're in on the joke. Like if you know just a little bit and then I imply something in a meme or in any of my content, and then you feel like you're in on the joke, like that'll help you to learn and it'll also encourage you to learn because now you want to be in on the joke. So I would say that my specific brand is like a bit, well, I'll tell you what I think it is, and then you can tell me if you agree. But I shoot for like I want to help people learn. I want to help them have fun learning. A little bit of snark, I think, is sometimes fun, a little bit of edge. And I try to be positive, but sometimes you have to call out some of the more negative sides of other brands in order to highlight the positives of some. So like I never want to be overwhelmingly negative. And I'm also really deliberate about how I do things. So like when I made a post last night, a list came out of like the best tequilas, and one of them I didn't really agree with. So instead of saying that tequila is absolute, can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of saying that tequila is absolute horseshit, I next to it on like there were like 4 tequilas listed, and I put next to the other 3 excellent, excellent, really good, and then next to this one I wrote, do I really have to say it? So I didn't say it sucks, and now I have plausible deniability. But like in the context of the other brands, now you're like, okay, if that's good and that's good and that's good, then this one might not be. So I'm very deliberate about like trying not to be negative unnecessarily. Sometimes you have to be. But yeah, I like to think that my brand is sort of like education, but fun, overwhelmingly fun, in my opinion. What I find fun anyway.
Well,
What do you think
I enjoy the content that you put out, and I know that countless others do as well because I've seen the people share your stories and the things that you post. So, I mean, I think you're doing an amazing job with how you're doing it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's evolved. If you go back and look at some of my stuff from like 3 years ago, my grid is perfect. Like everything is perfectly like has the exact same font and color scheme, and there's like a purple ribbon going down. Everything's perfect, perfect, perfect. And then the videos are me like very rehearsed and like a little stiff, but like very rehearsed. That's what she said. And now it's more like flight of ideas. Like I was sitting on the couch the other day and uh, someone brought up that it was April 25th. And I was like, oh my God, that's like from Miss Congeniality. So I just like went and like, up, and like posted while I was like having a conversation with my friends at game night and like not rehearsed, not polished, not my best, but also like a few people enjoyed it. And that's good. That's all I need.
But the fact that you remembered April 25th from Miss Congeniality is amazing in itself because I probably couldn't even quote 1 or 2 lines from that movie.
Yeah, but I bet you could quote Die Hard.
No, actually not.
What's your movie, man?
Step Brothers.
Okay, see, I can't quote Step Brothers. Well, maybe we did just become best friends. I don't know.
See?
But I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. Like I throw a lot of darts because maybe that one will be the one that resonates with someone and, the other ones won't.
And so talking about brands, how do you figure out or decide which brands that you're going to have on both Tequiladies and that you're going to feature on your Tequila Encyclopedia page?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a balance. I think for Tequiladies specifically, which I definitely want to talk about, I think Tequiladies, in my opinion, is a vehicle that taught me the most about tequila. Um, for people who don't know, Tequiladies is our weekly live tequila show that we've been doing for 3.5 years. I, along with Heidi, La Tequila Mamacita is her handle. Um, I, along with Heidi, have been doing this for 170 plus episodes, and we rarely miss a Tuesday. We missed New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve were Tuesdays this year, so we missed two. But for the most part, like rain, shine, whatever, we're out there doing it. And that's what she said. And if you talk to anyone, any expert or just people in a specific industry every week for an hour, you are bound to learn. And so that has been the biggest vehicle for teaching, but also for relationships. And I think when you make those relationships, that's where you really are able to connect people and ideas and all sorts of things. So I feel really blessed to be a part of that. And I don't take it for granted, even though some Tuesdays I'm rolling up on fumes like, oh my God. But to answer your question, in the beginning, we would alternate who booked what. And now it's sort of become that like Heidi mostly books people. Though I do too. I book people too. If I'm talking to someone like vis-a-vis being like in New York City, I meet a ton of people. So if I meet someone great, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't know, Heidi does the booking. I'll throw them in the calendar, and we have like a shared calendar that we do. Um, we book really far in advance now because we get approached and we approach people. And so we're sitting here on May 3rd, and our next availability is deep into October.
Oh, wow. That's
Which is
amazing.
good and bad. It's good, but it's also bad. Like Jenny Camarena just got announced as like the new master distiller for El Tesoro, and I reached out to her and I was like, "Congrats, congrats!" She's like, "I want to come on Tequiladies," and I was like, "October is not going to work for this, is it? I want to put you closer up, so I got to boot somebody, and that's always really difficult." But yeah, that's so. So we try to answer your question about who we decide. If they have a cool story, I'm into it. And even if they're like a tequila that I don't like personally, or that I think might do something in the process that I don't really like, I want to talk to them. I want to find out why. I want to know what's going on. And I think our audience does too. And for a while, like we were trying to decide, should we talk to diffuser brands, for instance? Should we talk to additive brands, for instance? And I think we should talk to everybody because I want to know why'd you do that? And I want to ask questions that you can't just look up on Tequila Matchmaker. Like Tequila Matchmaker is amazing and I love it. And it's a tool that is unparalleled and amazing, right? Like if other spirits like had this, I think we would all learn so much more about those other spirits. But I don't want to ask a brand like, how do you crush your agave? If I can just look that up, I want to ask, why did you choose to crush your agave? Like, what about that was important to you?
Right.
So, stuff like that. Or like, why do you have that logo on your bottle? Like stuff like
Seeing all the bottles that you have behind you,
that. Yeah.
and I'm sure that's not even a portion of them.
Yeah. It's really like an episode of Hoarders in here, let me tell you. Not good.
I'm sure that you've tried many bottles. What brand is still flying under the radar but deserves the spotlight?
Oh, that's such a good question. Ah, well, for me, it's like top of mind because of who's been on our show recently. Um, I mean, let me first answer with the answer that I always say. Tapatio. Tapatio, full stop, is one of the most underrated tequila brand. Not underrated. Those who know. But the average consumer has no idea what it is. Has is intimidated by its like appearance. And it is some of the best, most consistently amazing tequila. When I am out and I see Tapatio, it doesn't matter what else is on the list. I'm ordering that, one, because it's a great deal. And two, it's just so good. Um, so I would always say Tapatio as that. But I do think in terms of brands that probably should be on people's short list to try if they see it. I really like the stuff that Ileana Partida is doing. She's transforming that distillery. She got a Tahona. She's trying cool things. she's just like one of the most badass people out there. And I don't want to say like just badass women. No, she is one of the most badass people, include men in this. She's cooler than a lot of dudes and chicks. She's great. So she has a obviously she has there's a bunch of tequilas made out of her distillery, but Elevacion I think is really good. And Todd, who runs that brand, is just one of the nicest human beings on the planet. So I think Elevacion is a good one. We just had actually on our show 2 weeks ago, Nobleza. It's a
I saw that.
Dio, I think. And yeah, it's out of El Fondillo. Like, have you even heard of this? It was just like I get to meet the coolest people because like this tequila stuff. Let me open the blog.
You know, I had heard of it, but I didn't know that it was produced at El Pandillo.
Yeah, it's like who would have thought? And then we were like, oh, we know El Pandillo. Can we name all 9 out of El Pandillo? And this is, I'm sorry, I told him this is an ugly freaking bottle. Like Jesus, like this is cool, but the color, I am just not digging it. It looks not into it. But hey, different strokes for different folks. I'm sure there's someone out there that loves this.
Right.
That someone is not me. But the tequila is very good. So whatever, right? And let me think. Is there anyone else on here? I think Cabal makes this Potro. That's really good too. Have you heard of Potro? That's a yes. Yeah, I think that is some of the best shit. And it's like in a liter bottle and it's just so good. I mean, maybe it's not out there yet because I don't know if they're pushing it hard. I don't know what's going on. And I'm sure if Dustin listens to this, he'll kill me and he'll be like, I told you what we were doing. Why didn't you remember every word that I said? But, no, I think that's a really good one. We did a blind with Grover, and that came out as #1 for me, of very expensive alternatives. So, yeah, I like what they're doing out of La Roca. La Roca Distillery is the new distillery, obviously, that Cabal moved to. I don't know if Potro's out of La Roca, though. It's probably not. And again, Dustin's going to kill me. Let me look it up on Matchmaker before he kills me. I'm going to get more about it.
And moving on a little bit, as far as celebrity brands and the rise of basically everybody and their mom celebrity-wise trying to jump into the tequila game, what are your thoughts on celebrity brands? Are they helping the culture or are they hurting it?
Okay, so it's not out of La Roca. Let me just start there. Dustin, if you're listening, I found it. I know, blah, 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 blah. It's out of Productores de Agave. My Spanish is awful. I think that I don't think celebrities are evil necessarily. Some are. P. Diddy, for instance, evil. Well, I should probably not say that. He will kill me. But I don't think celebrities are evil inherently. I don't think using celebrity power is evil inherently. Where it troubles me is when this is someone, like when you have a person with an outsized impact and an outsized ability to reach people, and they use that to say things that aren't necessarily true. Like there are some celebrities out there going, this is the #1 Blanco, the #1 sipping Blanco. And it's like, that's not even a regulated term, sipping Blanco. Or like,
were they on a boat when they said that?
All right, let's play this. Let's do this. How about the celebrity that calls their tequila small batch, but it is actually made at multiple distilleries because it's so big?
Listen, if you're a jabroni, like, I understand it.
All right, we're 2 for 2. How about wait, this one's my favorite. I don't even know how to describe this. How about the celebrity that had a show about Mexico and has a tequila brand, but on that show about Mexico went and visited Chava at Cascahuin instead of showing their own tequila brand? How about that?
Ooh. That one's going to stump me.
So this person was a desperate housewife.
Okay. EL?
Yes, nailed it. Like so anyway, so celebrities I don't think are inherently evil, but they do have an outsized impact on and an outsized reach. And so when they use that reach to make a great tequila, cool. What I don't like is when theirs is the only tequila some people will ever try just because of their power of distribution and power of marketing. And then someone may try a tequila that's poorly made and think that that's how tequila is supposed to taste. So for instance, in the case of like, let's hate on Casamigos for a minute. It's just easy and whatever. People go, oh, the George Clooney tequila. And it tastes like vanilla and cough syrup. And people think that that's what tequila should taste like because that's the only tequila they've ever had. So if I pour them like, I don't know, like mineral agave forward Blanco, they're going to try like, I don't want to say Fortaleza, but they're going to try like an El Tequileño and go, oh, God, what is this? They know what Fortaleza is now because of Instagram and TikTok. But like if I poured it for them in a different bottle, they might not like it. But if I poured them El Tequileño and I was like, hey, try this, name of random celebrity is, let's say Chappell Roan is the spokesperson for this now. People would like it more. But the thing is, a lot of people are only going to ever try Casamigos or only going to ever try name a very sweet tequila. And that's where it starts to become, for me, a bit more difficult because my goal is to teach people. And if they hear from a celebrity that this is the number one tequila, and then they don't ever have someone else saying to them, hey, you should really try El Tesoro or something, um,
Right.
they may never try it. And when they do, now they've anchored on like overly vanilla tequila, thinking that that's what it is. So that's when it's problematic for me. That said, there are some incredible celebrities doing some incredible stuff. Like I think Santo is obviously a great example of that. Código is a great example of that. With George Strait, I didn't know he was a singer, musician. I knew him as a tequila guy. So, and then I learned he was a musician. That's cool.
One of the
I
greatest country singers of all time.
I don't listen to country, bro. Like, that's but good for him. Also, like, I think, what's the one that, it's like, Juan Lobo, John Wolfe. Again, I don't listen to country, but what a nice dude. And like, he's making a quality product. So it's possible to do both. It really is. And just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you have shit taste in tequila, but it seems to be the correlation these days.
And why do you think that is? Like, why do you think the majority of celebrities, excluding the ones that have done good tequilas,
Yeah.
what do you think that the correlation there is that they decide that they want to make these or have produced these shitty tequilas?
How deep you want to go? It's 10:30. No, it's 11:15 on a Saturday night. Do you want a macroeconomic reason or do you want like more of an existential reason? Where do we want to go with this?
Dealer's choice, since I'm in Vegas.
Okay. Um, Macroeconomically, I think in order for a brand to afford a celebrity spokesperson, they need to have a margin healthy enough to allow for such an endeavor. And therefore, um, they need to take shortcuts in their process. If you take shortcuts in your process to save money for that larger margin, you need to supplement with things such as additives. You don't need to, but otherwise your tequila will taste like nothing, which is also a strategy. There are some tequilas I've tasted that taste like nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Totally get this for the college crowd. Like, makes sense. But if I think it's a chicken and an egg situation with celebrities, wherein the brands that have the money for a celebrity spokesperson have to find it from somewhere. And so I like to tell people if you see it on a billboard, like it probably isn't a good tequila. Now there are exceptions, right? Like Lalo's good, Ocho's good, but generally if it is on a billboard, it likely has healthy margins from taking shortcuts in its process. So I think that's the macroeconomic reason. The existential reason is because I don't know if you've ever seen the show Hacks on HBO, but
I haven't.
so the premise is it's like a very famous comedian. She's in her 60s, and they have a running joke on the show that she's always just like endorsing products to like make money. And I think for some celebrities, it's a business opportunity. And if someone offered me, millions of dollars, I'd love to say that I would say no. But frankly, like if someone offered me millions of dollars to endorse a vodka and I'm not passionate about vodka, then what's the big deal? I don't think these celebrities are necessarily passionate about tequila. And so, it's not that big of a deal to them. And in many ways, I thought I was passionate about tequila 6, 7 years ago. And relative to what I know now, I clearly didn't know what I was talking about. But maybe they truly do in their heart of hearts believe that they are passionate about tequila, but you can't be if you're saying some of the stuff that some of them are saying. We have a saying on our show, like maybe once a year, a few times a year, Heidi and I will ask each other on a scale from 1 to 10, or I think it's 5. We go on a scale from 1 to 5, where 5 is that you know everything and 1 is that you know very little. Like, how much do you actually, we made it out of 10 and then Heidi said 5. Actually, yeah. Or whatever. Anyway, we say on a scale from 1 to 10, like, how much do you know about tequila? And how much are you learning? Whatever. And every year, I come up with the same number, even though that preceding year I learned more than the year before that and the year before that. And the reason is because the more you know you don't know. And so we like to say, like, every year I'm a 7 or whatever. I think we did it out of 5, and I've always been a 3. Yeah, we did it out of 5, and Heidi thought we were doing it out of 10. So she said that she was a 5, and I was like, okay, bitch, like you're a 5 out of 5. But yeah, like we always say, it's like 2.5 or 3, because the more you know you don't know. So it's a long-winded way of saying, like, if it's not necessarily like what you know today, you'll know more tomorrow, hopefully, if you pay attention and try.
Well, I mean, even my job, like, even if you think you know everything, you're always going to be learning something tomorrow,
Yeah.
because depending on the client, like, you're always learning something about the client. You're always learning new ways in and out of places, how to use your soft skills in order to talk to people and be able to get into places that you're not, the average person just aren't supposed to be getting into.
Yeah, it's true.
So in talking about celebrity trends and trends in general, what trends in the tequila space excite you and what worries you?
Ooh, this is another good. You got good questions, and I know you offered to send these to me in advance, and I said no, I want to be on the spot. Um, what trends worry me and what excite me? Uh, huh. I would say in terms of like exciting, I think brands are getting really excited, getting really creative about trying different uh, aging methods. So the big trend last year was like red wine barrels, rosé barrels. Like, it was all about the wines. Yayo came out with a bottle recently that it was like apple cider barrels, and it is spectacular.
So,
And yeah, isn't it just? It's so good. It's like so good. And I think that the really creative aging process is very cool. It's going to open a lot of doors for a lot of people who maybe, wouldn't have otherwise tried tequila. I met someone on the train today, on the subway, because I'm that person who talks to people.
say it
Um,
isn't so.
it's very not New Yorker of me, but anyway, long story short, we were both waiting for the train, and like it was packed, and people were packing in like sardines, and they went. And I turned to her and I was like, I looked at her. She was like very well dressed, and the train was sweaty and weird. And I looked at her and I was like, "There's one in 3 minutes." And she's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, let it go." So sure enough, people are like sardines. The door shuts, and then 2 minutes later, our train comes and it's empty, and we both get to sit down. And I was like, "Okay, let's." So we kept talking, and anyway, um, I bring that all up because I was telling her, I was like, "Okay, so what do you drink?" Because I told her I was coming for this podcast, and that's why I was like running late and looking crazy. Um, and she was like, "Oh, well, I drink bourbon." I said, "Oh, well, you're gonna love tequila." Cause like, okay, El Tesoro, 18 months, American white oak bourbon barrels. Like, a lot of tequila is aged in bourbon barrels. Like, you're gonna like that. So I think, like, as rum barrels and wine barrels and whatever other barrel enters the equation, people who like these other things, it's gonna be a nice little on-ramp for them to try tequila. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool trend. Where it starts to worry me, and I don't think worry is the right word, but where it starts to get a little muddy is now with like Tequila Matchmaker being handcuffed a little bit, literally and figuratively. Um, there's no accountability necessarily that would stop a brand from doing something that otherwise might have stopped them from getting Grover's additive free designation. So brands can push it really far, and maybe it's an apple cider barrel that is a little wet, That's what she said. But like, maybe it's so now is that an additive? Because now you're putting apple cider into the tequila. Do you know what I'm saying? So it becomes a slippery slope, which in many ways is exciting because you get to try cool new flavor profiles, but also it can be a pendulum that might swing a little far. So that's one thing that I'm keeping an eye on, is what people are doing now and what they'll be doing a year from now with regards to aging, which may or may not have been as, I don't want to say approachable, but as like accepted
Okay.
a year ago. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down?
I gather what you're laying down.
I don't know if I'm explaining it well because again, it's 11:30 at night and I've had a long day. I bought a car this
Understandable.
morning. I had a long day.
It's just kind of like stirring the pot a little bit more.
You've been stirring it the whole time, man. Keep stirring.
I, I like it. So have you ever posted something that stirred the pot a little too much, and how did you navigate the criticism?
Oh, come on, you know this.
Well, I do, but maybe the listeners don't.
Okay. So my Clase Azul post, let's talk about it. I was at my parents' house and my mom had a bottle of Clase Azul and it was empty. And she was cleaning out her like liquor cabinet. My mom's making a lot of appearances on this show tonight. And she was emptying this. She was like, Marissa, throw this out. It's empty. I've been using it for decoration, but it's bad tequila anyway. Like, throw it out. And I was like, okay. And she goes, here's a few other ones. And she handed me like this Cuervo handle and she goes, throw this out too. We're not going to drink this. And I was like, oh, I guess you could give it to people that you don't like or like mix it with it or something. She goes, no, I only want to serve good tequila in this house. And I was like, nice. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, I bet mom, honestly, I bet if you took, because I have two brothers and sometimes they can drink a lot. And sometimes their friends can drink a lot. And my little brother in particular is dating someone very young and her friends can drink a lot. And I don't think that quality necessarily matters to 20-year-olds. So what I said to my mom is I was like, I bet if I threw this Cuervo into this empty Clase Azul bottle and added like some vanilla, they wouldn't even know the difference. And she's like, all right, then do that. And I was like, all right. And then as I was doing that, I was like, hold on a sec.
Like, don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. So then I like record. So I took my phone, I leaned it up against like her coffee pot. And if you see the start of this video, I'm chewing because I literally was like having a snack and like, I was like, like, let me record this and send it to Heidi or something. It'll be funny. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, actually, this is going to be really funny. So then like halfway through the video, you can see like I get a little more serious because I'm like, oh, I can actually probably use this. And I record it. And so basically the genesis is I take the bottle of Cuervo, I say 0 words in the entire thing. I take the bottle of Cuervo, I pour it into the empty bottle of Clase Azul. I take vanilla, I go like this, I pour it in, I shake it up. And as I'm shaking it up, I'm like, oh, here's a glass. I pour it into the glass. I did not intend on spitting it out. That's what she said. That was not part of the plan. But I took a sip of it and I guess my mom had used the Clase Azul bottle as a candle holder. So I got a mouthful of wax, literally a mouthful of wax. And that's when I was like, ugh. And I spit it out. And then I was like, oh, no, recover. You can't do that. Like, and then I was like, oh, it's not. And then I just like rang the bell and called it. And that's the only cut of the entire thing is you can see I like spliced it to like ring the bell because I was like, you should probably ring the bell. So I put that part in. But the whole thing was me not talking, me just doing that. And it wasn't planned. And I look like shit because I just went for a run. And I had people reach out to me. Shout out to Rudy from Lost Lore who told me that I look like shit. He goes, oh, you should have combed your hair. And I'm like, Rudy, you don't even have hair. Shut the fuck up. I mean, he has hair, but like, I hate when men comment on women's appearance. I think that's bullshit. But he was like, oh yeah, like you didn't even comb your hair for it. And oh yeah, like, you should. I don't have makeup on. I have sunglasses on. Who cares? It went viral because of course it did. Because on days when I look good, why would I go viral? It's got to be the day when I'm coming back from the gym. So it went viral and it just like it came in waves. Like I posted it and all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's a lot of notifications. Okay. It was mostly love from the Agave community. And then a few things started trickling in that were not so much love. And then Mover and Shaker picked it up and messaged me. He's like, "Do you mind if I use this?" I was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then it went and just like exploded. And I couldn't go a few minutes without having hundreds of like messages and things, like hundreds of notifications. And if you've never gone viral, it's like the weirdest thing. Because on one hand, you're like addicted to checking, but on the other hand, not a real world. It's like the internet, like let it go. Um, so then the comments really started pouring in, and people were taking like people took it one of two ways. Well, three ways. One way was they thought I was serious. And they called me classless and stupid, and oh, this girl doesn't have a palate. Does she even know what tequila is? And it's like, cute. I was like, my name is literally Tequila Encyclopedia, but whatever. Second was people who thought that I was just ripping on Clase Azul, which I mean, it kind of was. And then they got mad. And then there was a third group that like got it. Like they understood it was just it's a joke. Like I don't actually think that this and this together tastes like that. Like I don't think that. And like there were people who thought it was very literal. So the group that thought it was like literal, they were like, "This is great. What a hack." And they like sent it to each other like, "Oh yeah, let's try this." And I was like, "No, no, no, don't try that." And then there were other people who were like, "This is illegal. Like, you can't do that. That's so illegal. That would get you kicked out." And I'm like, I have not said a word in the entire freaking thing. So anyway, there were just cohorts of people that took it all different ways. But one morning, I woke up and chose violence. I had just gotten too many people that were like misinterpreting it and stuff. And I get that there's no way to misinterpret anything, right? Your interpretation is your interpretation. But people who were dragging me, and like I said, I woke up and chose violence. I decided, I was like, fuck it. From here on out, I am going to dig into people. So I put a big warning at the top of the comment section. And I said something along the lines of, like, if you come for me, be prepared for a light roast. Um, something. It was, I actually think it was well worded. I don't remember what I said, but something like that. Like others have come before you, try your best. And so once I put that warning and pinned it at the top, I was like, okay, gloves are off. Now I can say whatever I want. Like I put a disclaimer, we're good. And then I got excited because then when people would say stuff, I went in. And like I said, I have two brothers, like sticks and stones, baby. Try me. Like call me fat. I don't care. Call me ugly. I don't care. Say that I look like shit. I don't care, Rudy. So went in on people, like, and that was a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun. And I was trying to do it in a way that was like just open to interpretation enough that if you read my comments, like I didn't sound like that much of an asshole. Um, and I tried to be like playful and ask questions back and do stuff like that. And like periodically, like maybe once a year or so, or it was probably about a year ago now. So every few months, like sometimes I'll go in and I'll like read some of those comments and just be like, did I do a good job? Was this the right thing? And I do still get very entertained by it all.
Well, I'm sure it was a little therapeutic in itself, just even responding in the violent way.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say violent, but I wasn't violent. I was just like very snarky. And like I had people DM me saying, I am going to that post every day to read the replies that you've said. Like, I am having so much fun with you. Because this went on for weeks, like at least a full week, if not, it felt like longer. But I think in the end, the whole thing was a few weeks long. And yeah, it's funny. Like, I have it pinned to the top of my profile because it still makes me laugh. Like, and the song is just perfect. Like, you never know what's going to do it. You just don't know. But like, I mean, if I pull it up now, yeah, there were just like some funny comments. Like I wrote at the top, welcome to the very lively comment section. Be warned, if you come for me, be prepared for a light roast. Others have come before you. That's what she said.
I I actually remember that post, and it made me chuckle as well, just reading some of them. So I, hats off to those people that went back and kept going just to see the negative posts and your reactions to them.
Yeah, like I'll give you an example. So like people would like try to mansplain tequila to me, which was so fun. And this one guy goes, because it's typically men, no offense. one guy goes, Don Julio is the tequila, not that fancy bottle drink. And then he like winked because I don't know if he's flirting. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. So then I wrote, finished that sentence. Don Julio is the tequila that, and then I just put like a space, like tell. And then he goes, simple as that. It's the tequila. Gran Azul far away of tequila. Like he doesn't even get it right. And like anyway, so I went through and like took him down. I went to the next person, took him down, went to the next. This person wrote that tequila's trash. And I go, true, both. Like I just like I was trying to be like a little controversial and fun. Someone said that sounds like some trailer trash shit. And I was like, clearly judging by the custom kitchen that my dad built, right? Like $1 million house must be trailer trash. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with it.
So with your audience, how do you maintain the trust and authenticity with your audience in the tequila scene as it becomes more commercialized?
Do I maintain the trust? Do you think I'm trustworthy?
I think you're probably one of the more trusted people within the industry as far as the reviews, the guests that you have on, the fact that you're, scheduled out till October, that says a lot that, people are seeking you out and want to be on your show. The same way with Jay Bear and Doug Price, those guys, I think that you rate right up there with both of them as far as being a trusted voice in this space.
Thank you. I have Doug coming on Tuesday. He's our episode on Tuesday.
I had Doug on last season.
Ah, I love him. He's actually, I would say, one of my closest friends in the industry, actually. He's very generous with his time. He's very generous with his advice. And he's just a really genuinely nice human. Jay.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I love when nice humans like do well. I love to see nice humans do well. And Jay Bear too. What a nice human, generous with his time. Just like a wonderful person. I really think the world of both of them. And Lucas, obviously you can't have a conversation about tequila without Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
All three I would put in a class of just like wonderful humans.
And all three have been on this show. So you are among the greats.
Among the giants. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think the way that you can be authentic and make and continue to have trust, assuming you have trust, is to not lie. So when we have brands on, and also like I can't lie because I have a face that just won't let me. Like what I think is I'm a face. I actually had a boss once tell me to get Botox so that people wouldn't know what I was thinking. And she was like, get preventative, like in my 20s, I was like 24. And she's like, get Botox so people don't know what you're thinking. And I was like, thanks, sweetie. And I still haven't. I probably should. Probably should. Yeah. Anyway, so when brands come on, if they have a product I don't like, and we have had brands on that I do not like, I'm not gonna sit there and say and exalt the tequila and go, this is great. This is this, like this is that. Like, I'm not gonna do that. So I do think that helps. I think Heidi and I have very different approaches on how we run the show, just organically. She likes to research the brands a lot before coming on and have her talking points. And I think she likes to like ask some questions that she has herself for a post she'll make later because she tends to make then like content that she posts about the brands, and it's all very educational and it's wonderful. I like to try everything raw, like live. I want to know as I'm trying it, like I want it to be a genuine reaction. I don't want to smell it for the first time and no one gets to see my face react. So I think that that's part of it is just having an unbotoxed face that can't lie. And then I think that's not to say I won't in the future. I probably should. But and then I
Botox
think
is
the other,
overrated.
is it?
It is.
I mean, what I don't know anymore. I probably should. Oh my god, this lighting. Anyway, so I think that's part of it. And then I think the other thing is like being in on the joke. Like you want to make fun of me, do it. I've already made fun of me. So like, and I think that like viral posts, same thing. Like you want to make fun of me, come at it. Like at this point, I'm confident in how much I know. I'm confident enough to admit things I don't know. I don't care. No one knows everything. It's okay. So I do think that that's helpful. Is being secure, and for me, this is a fun hobby. So there's very little on the line. And I know for
I,
some people, it's their livelihood. So
I would agree with you there. It is a very fun hobby, and just being able to speak to so many genuine people and see how the agave community comes together and supports one another. Like, to me, I correlate it with like the law enforcement and the military communities. You have that brotherhood, you have that camaraderie, and you see that among smaller brands, that they're going to each other's Christmas parties or other events that they're holding, and it's so nice and refreshing to see that they're cheering on those other brands even though they're competitors. So it's an amazing thing to see that there's just so much familial space there
Yeah.
and community.
Yeah, and I don't think they're competitive. Like they're competitors, but they're almost not competitors. Like any more than a hot dog and a pizza are competitors. Because people always ask, the first question I get is like, what's the best tequila? And I say the one that I'm in the mood for, right? Like it depends on my mood. So like I think there are days where Cascahuin is the best tequila for me because that's the one I want. And other days it's El Tesoro because that's the one I want. And other days it's Tierra de Ensueño because that's the one I want. And so I love that they all cheer for each other because why not? Like one day I'm going to be in the mood for that, like really like Highlands agave. And another day I'm going to want that barrel aged, like oaky valley volcanic soil, like añejo. Like, and that's cool, you know? So yeah, they're competitors, but they're also like sometimes not as much.
And we kind of talked just a little bit about mentioning, other creators within the space. What's one thing that you do wish that more content creators of spirits or within the spirit space understood or prioritized?
Oh, this is an easy one. Um, I try very hard to get the names of small brands out there, but if I tell you about a tequila and you can't find it, what did we do here? What did we actually accomplish? So I think it would be nice if there were like a more not seamless way, but like more direct way to highlight the tequila that's available to people where they are, meet them where they are. So I have a lot of followers, believe it or not, from Europe, and I'm going to Europe in a month. And I guess I mentioned that or something, and one of them reached out to me and whatever. Um, and for them, there's like very little that we show on the show that they can have. Like Europe is like a tequila desert in many ways. It's getting better, apparently. Like they have Ocho and stuff, but like I think it'd be really cool if there were a way to sort of get meet people where they are with what's available for them. So I can talk about Quintalisa all day long, and I could because I love it, but it's only in a few states. What they do that's genius though is they're very deep in those states. So like one of their first states was New Jersey and Florida. Those were their first two. And I knew that every single Total Wine in New Jersey or Florida had Quintalisa. And that made it really easy for me. Because if I talked to someone from New Jersey or Florida and they said, what's a good tequila? What's a cool one I should get? I'm like, Quintalisa. I know it's going to be there. I know that when I tell you to get that, it'll be there. Whereas some brands, they blanket states, all the states. And if that tequila is at a Total Wine in that state, but not every Total Wine, or at a Bottle King, but not every Bottle King, like it makes it really difficult for me to then recommend it because I don't know that it's going to be there for them. So it's less about content creators being responsible for this and more about like finding a way to make it easier for people to find quality things where they are. Because as we know, every state, every town, every store is very different.
Well, in Nevada is the the tequila scene is getting bigger, but again, it comes down to the distribution and what distributors want to bring in and what they think is going to sell, which I get it, it's a business, but at the same time, like there's enough people within Nevada and since it's such a transient city, you have people traveling in all the time from all walks of life. So why not have all of it or a good portion of all of the good tequilas and then you're going to satisfy everybody coming in, as opposed to, oh no, we're just going to have, those major brands, and we'll have a few, which, honestly, Package Group has done an amazing job here with G4. Jeff, who's been on the show, he's amazing in everything he does.
Jeff. I
Sean.
can't love Jeff more. Again, another person. Sorry, not to interrupt your love of Sean. Like, we will get to that, but like, I can't think of another person who is as smart and just, again, generous with his time,
Mhm.
in reason. Um, he knows everything, and he's just so wonderful. And I think Package Group is evidence of that. Like, they're a, like, kind of behind the scenes company that we all now know. Like, we are calling brands, oh, they're a Package Group brand. Like, can you like, that's crazy. And like, if I know something's covered by Package Group, I know it's good. Like, that's crazy. Like, who does
Yeah.
that? Anyway, please continue with your love for Sean, because I love Sean too.
Well, I've met Sean once, and Sean and his wife were just so amazing as well. When I met them, they were very hospitable, just in the fact of the way they talk to you, the way they just bring you into the fold of the tequila community. And if you watch some of their stuff, just the way that they go out, like, he's always on a mission to find a good spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have great palates, and they have great business sense, and they have a great balance. And we can honestly do a whole episode about how Package Group is single-handedly changing American palates and minds. Like, truly, I don't think you can overstate the impact that they've had.
Talking about how, it brings people together, and how creators brings people together with tequila and, spirits. What does the perfect tequila experience look like to you? Setting, glassware, tequila, people, the whole gamut.
Oh, man. It's another one that's like, what am I in the mood for? To be honest, it really is. There are some days, so I don't drink alone. I'm a social drinker. I drink for like judging competitions. I just did the Agave Awards, and I have 50 samples on my counter right now. So that is drinking alone, but it's not like it's drinking for a purpose. Um, I know a lot of people who, they come home from work, they have a glass of wine, they have a tequila, whatever. That's just never been me. Even though I love tequila, I don't know. I drink with other people. And so my perfect setting is with people that I love and people I want to be around. And I would rather have a mediocre tequila in my glass and someone incredible across the table from me than have the best tequila I've ever had alone. And so I would say the perfect setting can even be a plastic cup. I know, plastic's terrible. I know, but it really, and I don't even do that. You know me, I'm always drinking out of the bottle anyway. So what's the
Right.
difference, right? But God, I always forget how good this is. But yeah, I think it's just the people that you're with, and obviously more like, whoops, more tactically. I love a Glencairn glass. I think those are really great. Um, you want to obviously control the environment, so if you have allergies, not outside in the spring. Um, obviously, you don't want to have eaten first, and all these other things you could say, like chemically, but and biologically. But for me, truly, not to be sentimental and corny, it really just, it's who you're with.
Okay. I know that you sit on the board of a Tequila That Cares.
Yeah, I do.
What initially drew you to get involved with the organization?
This hat's really tiny. Hold on, this one's bigger. You give me two. Oh no, this one's smaller. Which one's the big one? Boom. Tequila That Cares. What got me into it? I think you visit Guadalajara enough, and you visit Jalisco enough, that you see the people who are really making this spirit. One of the things that makes tequila so special is just how many hands have like made this possible, from the humidors in the fields to the people planting the hijuelos to, the people putting the labels on the bottles. Like, it's a very labor intensive product, in a very unparalleled way. And so you visit Jalisco, you see these people, and you're like, I want to be respectful of the fact that we're lucky to have this product from them. What are some things we can do to offset like what we're getting from them? We should be giving back. And so what I liked about Tequila That Cares is it doesn't set out with these like crazy goals that aren't going to happen. It goes very locally and very like hyper locally and hyper focused. And Jason Krasno, if you've ever talked with him, is just again one of those incredible people. One of my again favorite people. Like, we've brought up quite a few of my favorite people tonight between Jeff and Jason and Doug and just like some wonderful people. And Jason is just he's like a born philanthropist. He is so um selfless and generous and just he's an attorney, so that helps with some of the paperwork needed for these initiatives. But when you hear him talk about Tequila That Cares and Mission 1530, there's a level of passion there that's pretty infectious. And even if I hadn't been to Jalisco and I hadn't seen it firsthand, I think just talking with Jason, he could sell me anything. And he's not selling, that's why it works. It's like genuine. And so I think that was part of it. Having the opportunity to work with Jason, of course, was a big draw. And then there's people on the board that I really like. Again, Lucas is on it; he's wonderful. Mike Barad from Great Lakes Tequila Club, he's
Okay.
on it. He's a great guy. It's just like working with some wonderful people is a good draw, and then making an impact is really cool.
And are there any specific initiatives or causes that the foundation is currently supporting or that you can talk about at the moment?
Yeah, of course. So we've like a two-pronged approach. Over the last several weeks, we've all each of the board members posted a video. So last week was my week, and I posted a video about like some of the initiative. We all did it differently, right? Like, I did my weird little splicey thing. Lucas did his like amazing thing. Mike did an amazing job too. Um, the two initiatives that we kind of have a two-pronged approach. So helping with education and like sustainable education. So like building a school or building something that impacts a school so that it's an impact that maintains. It's not like, oh, I'm going to buy you something and then tomorrow it's gone and I got to go buy it again for you. It's like, no, something that will allow the donation itself to be like self-sustaining. So like schools are a big initiative for us. And then back stateside, looking at bartenders, the people who actually are working with the product, a lot of them don't have access to healthcare or resources. So helping them get those resources, inclusive of healthcare, inclusive of treatment if they have issues, things like that. So it's sort of a two-pronged approach, and it's not just focusing on Mexico or just focusing on the U.S. It's focusing on both aspects, which is really compelling as well. Because I don't know of many charities that are doing that.
With your experience within the industry, how would you say that has shaped you um, for being in the position that you're on and for the board?
I'm the only chick, so I'm mindful of I'm probably a diversity hire. No, I'm kidding. But I am the only chick. How has that shaped me for the board? Well, so I've been on the boards of charities before. In my 20s, I was on the board of some stuff. So I've learned that I think there's good, there's bad, not bad, but there's like things that are more effective than others. The way that Jason runs this program is very effective. He's very tactical, to use your word. He's very deliberate. And then on top of it, I think we're all pretty passionate about this stuff. So it's pretty great to be with a group of 6 people who all really do want to see this succeed. And it really comes through. It's not like a board like where you're like, fine, I'll be on the board. It's like, no, you like want to be there. And like I look forward to our conversations. And yeah, I think having experience in charities is helpful, but having experience with tequila is another. But really, it's having the passion to help. You don't need to know as much about tequila to know that what we're doing is wonderful. And it is helpful, of course, when we're like picking barrels and like trying to like do cool stuff. I was just on a call yesterday with Jason and a potential brand partner for mission for the next iteration. So we had mission 1, we have mission 2 coming up. Mission 1 has 1 release left. And then mission 3, believe it or not, we're already talking, and that's years in the future. So yeah, it's helpful to know those things. And when we were getting to the conversation, of course, there were pieces where I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to work with that brand. And so like knowing that background is helpful. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to do the cool things that we're doing over there.
So that kind of leads me into my next question is, what are some of the goals or changes that you hope to achieve within the foundation?
Yeah, I mean, within the foundation itself, my goal is to like be a good board member, obviously. But I think again, it comes back to helping people both in Mexico and the US, right? So like helping with education is of course really important. Um, it's important here too. It's just important in general. I think it's one of the most underrated ways to allow people to have control over their lives and destiny. So if that's something, if you want to go do something and you have the education to do it, like you can. If you want to go do something else and you want the education to do it, you can. And so I do think education's like pretty magical in that way. And then of course, like taking care of the people who take care of us, the bartending scene, I think it's really hard. Like being a bartender is so hard. And Luis from General Gorostieta was
Hmm.
there last night, and he was trying to bartend, and it's funny because he's such like a competent guy. He's like a very like he has great posture, and he's just like he's like intimidatingly good posture, and he's like an attorney, and he's like well spoken, and he's always everything's perfect. And I'm watching him struggle over making like a margarita. And I was like, bending's really freaking tough, man. And he goes, it is so tough. And he's like shaking and it's fun to watch. It was fun to watch him like not be perfect at something for once. But
Hmm.
yeah, it just goes back to like these people like who bartend are such unsung heroes. And I think through my involvement with tequila and generally and just being around industry people, I've become a better customer because I realize like what they're going through. I can still not empathize, but I can definitely sympathize with some of the things they're going through. And it's really great that Tequila That Cares um lets us help a little bit over there as well because these people literally like are single-handedly responsible for the front lines a lot of times. They're the ones that people ask questions about tequila, but they're also the ones that are responsible for these menus and all these things and like they have such power and it's so disintermediated that there's so many people that have this ability and so it's nice to be able to take care of them.
So if someone wanted to get involved with the foundation, how could they go about getting involved?
Yeah, so there's a few ways. So we have 2 big ways of fundraising. One is through donations, of course. Um, registered 501(c)(3), so get that tax write-off. Second way is through our barrel releases. We had 3 already. We have 1 more coming for Mission 1, and they are outstanding. We for the first one, we did a 100-year-old cognac barrel. That
Wow.
made some just some ridiculously cool profiles with like Fortaleza and Tequila Ocho and Cascoine, and it's just like unbelievable stuff. So that of course is a fun way to get involved too, because you could just buy incredible tequila and know that you're doing something good. They tend to sell out like within minutes, so you gotta be a little competitive about it. But those, I mean, obviously, I don't think there's many people who are gonna buy every release. So I'm sure if you want to try 1 or 2, like, and you're diligent about it, I'm sure you'll get 1 or 2. But they're just really good. So that's another way to get involved. And then, of course, if you go on Instagram and you follow the Tequila That Cares Foundation, that's really helpful. Um, and I'll get the exact handle right now because I think it's not. I think it's like TTCF. Give me 1 sec. I want to make sure we get the right one. I think it might actually be Tequila That Cares. Yeah, it's Tequila That Cares on Instagram. And through following this,
Perfect.
you'll be able to see what we're up to, what we're doing. Um, And yeah, I always say reach out to a board member too. If you just like feel really passionately that you want to be involved with it, just reach out to a board member. You know, it's like we're all pretty cool and open. I think.
Well, from Tactical Tequila, like I would love to be involved.
Ah, look at you. All right. Using your platform for good. Love that.
I would like to think that the majority of my platform is for good.
Yeah. None of it for evil.
None.
Not even a little bit.
No.
A little bit. Tiny bit.
No, not yet.
A little bit.
You know, well, okay, maybe, no, not really.
I don't know. Those
um,
celebrity questions are pretty hard hitting there.
what, in one word, what would you describe the foundation as?
Ooh. Well intentioned.
Okay. Biggest lesson that you've learned from serving on the board?
Things take a lot of time in Mexico. There's time and there's Mexican time. I say that tongue in cheek, but I not just from the board, just like working with tequila brands in general. Like we sometimes have to move episodes because people are like, "Oh yeah, we will definitely have our reposado out by June," and then like June comes around and they're like, "Hey, yeah, do you have any September episodes?" So like stuff like that happens, and it's there's a brand that if they hear this, they're gonna think I'm talking about them because those were the exact dates that we started with and moved with, and it like I swear to God, I was just making those dates up. But it turns out to be the exact ones that this brand went through. But like, yeah, there's time and there's Mexican time. And I think, having realistic expectations is really important. I have a single barrel with Heidi that we're trying to get out, and we've been trying to get it out for like 2 years. And there was a fire at the distillery, and there was this, and there was that. And then they took it out of the barrel at 35 months. And I was like, are you crazy? Put it the fuck back in. Like, make it 36 so it can be an extra añejo. But before you do that, actually let us try it because we should try it at 35. Because if it's good at 35, then okay, we should keep it up. So like things just like, take time. And I think just being mindful of that and like laughing at it is fine. Like again, for me, this is a fun hobby. My livelihood luckily is not on the line, knock on wood. So okay, it's July of 2025 instead of 2024. We'll be fine. It'll be okay.
When do you expect the single barrel to come out?
Mexican time or in US time?
US time.
I have no freaking clue.
Okay.
Tell you the estimates of Mexican time, and those
Fair
are
enough.
last month, and the month before that, and then the month before that, and that, and that, and that, and that. But like all kidding aside, it went back in the barrel. I might be on site to visit that distillery in a few weeks, which of course will help expedite. But yeah, like things take time, and then getting approved special labels and things like that, it all takes time. So we were hoping for spring, then we were hoping for summer, then fall, then spring, then summer, then winter. Like you know what I mean? Like it's been like 2 years of this, but yeah, I think we're trying to make the best product. And Cascanes always says that they don't make things based on timetables; they make things based on when the tequila tells them. And so that's kind of what we're doing here because we easily could have taken it out of the barrel a few times and said, yeah, yeah, slap a sticker on it, we're good to go. But we're putting our names on it. And I know single barrels are super popular now, but we started this so long ago that like believe me, single barrels were not that popular. Again, it's an XA at this point, so it's been in there for 3 years. Like we've been doing it 3 years.
Well, and the old saying goes, patience is a virtue.
Yeah, and also early bird gets the worm. So we got to get this thing moving.
Fair enough. I will give you that. What's a favorite event or fundraiser that you've been a part of?
Oh, okay. Um, 3 years ago, the LA Tequila Fest, a lot of people from Agave Squad all just decided that this was the one we were all going to go to, and we all got to meet each other. And that was really cool. And I really liked that. And just like meeting all these people. And I would say the year before, 2021 was the year before. It was one of the first events I went to where I was meeting people. Um, and someone said, "Oh, can we get a picture?" And I said, "Sure, sure. Yeah, give me your camera. I'll take it." And they're like, "No, no, like with you." I was like, "What?" And that was kind of cool. So, yeah, like I would say like again, it's all about people and relationships for me. So meeting a lot of people is fun, and yeah. And it happens to me in New York a little bit, which is really cool too. Fun.
If there's one person that you could sit down and have a drink with, living, past, or celebrity, or anyone, who would it be?
That's a really great question. I could go like the route of, like Gandhi or some shit, right? Or I could go like, Carlos Camarena. I feel like in the tequila industry, I am so lucky that there's very few people that I wouldn't feel comfortable approaching or knowing someone who could approach for me. Like if there were someone that I wanted to talk with. So I'm going to remove it from the tequila industry because I think I'm only limited by my own will there. Um, I don't want to go political because people get upset. I guess I could go Derek Jeter, but that'd be weird. I could go my grandma, but none of you have ever met her, so it wouldn't really mean much to you. Although I do love my grandma, and she was a wonderful person, and I would really love to have a tequila with her because none of this stuff happened for me while she was alive. So I don't think she would have. She actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with my grandma because I do think she would be like blown away by this. She was blown away by the fact that I could drive a car because women her generation like weren't allowed to do a lot of things. So she was so proud of me when I went on my first business trip to Ohio, of all places. She was like so proud. So it'd be really cool to like try to explain to her what I do with this tequila stuff. And yes, that I curse, she would hate that. But my mom hates it. My mom like listened to a podcast that I was on the other day and she messaged me and she was like, compliment, compliment, and then like paragraphs about how she hates when I curse. Compliment. So it was like a sandwich.
I've
Um,
raised you better.
Literally, yeah. It was actually like it was pretty cutting. But yeah, no, I'd love to go with my grandma. I think she'd be really cool for it. And tequila is all about family, so that would be cool. And also like backup would be like Ronald Reagan because I just feel like that dude would tell the best jokes. Like I feel like granted he'd probably like not be a big fan of mine, but I do think he'd be fun.
I don't know. I think you'd be surprised, probably.
Yeah. I mean, he's the president I was born under. But only slightly. Like I just caught like a month, like less than a year of his presidency. So now you can figure out how old I am. You do math.
Fair enough. We'll leave that up to the imagination of the listeners. And
I am what I
am. True, we all are. What would you say is more rewarding? Discovering a great tequila or making a real impact through the foundation?
obviously. I mean,
I figured that would be the answer, but
yeah,
wanted to ask anyway.
yeah, because tequila comes and goes. I think like one of the beauties of the brands that are not made with additives is that every batch is different. And so, while it's awesome to like get that unicorn batch of stuff, um, the people who make that unicorn batch possible, helping them is way cooler.
I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Let's go.
Blanco, Repo, Añejo, or an extra Añejo?
Depends on my mood.
Right now.
Not a Krista fucking Lino.
Is that even? That's not even an expression. That wasn't even in the question.
Yes. I've been digging. We all go on our journey, right? Like we all start with Añejos, then move our way down to Blancos over time, and then we hang at Blancos for a really long time. I've been digging repos. I don't know. It just kind of comes in waves. I've been digging repos lately.
Okay. Neat or shaken in a cocktail?
Oh, Jesus, neat. And today, so the bar that I was at tonight, in the West Village, I said, can I please have it without any fruit, any ice? Like that's always what I say. I say, yeah, I'll have that tequila, whichever one I say. Like they had the nata, by the way, which is spectacularly cool. And I was like, can I have no fruit, no ice? And somehow, and then the waitress goes, oh, so neat. And I was like, yeah. What do you think showed up on the glass?
A lime wedge.
Fucking lime wedge.
Did you flick it like normal?
Oh, did I? Did I ever? And I don't record myself doing it as much anymore. But that used to be my thing. But like, yeah, I flicked it. The fact that she was like, "Oh, you want it neat," like she knew what I was talking about, and then still the lime. And I know it's not her. I know like she orders it, somebody pours it, and then I know. But oh,
So have you ever thought about how they used to play paper football in school?
oh yeah.
Have you ever thought of just like flicking it so hard like it just goes across the bar?
I have accidentally done that. Like I have hit people in the face. I've hit like all sorts of stuff. Because the key to a good flicked lime, so if you have the glass, you don't want to flick it into the glass, right? So you have to flick it out of the glass, but you really want to launch it and you want to make sure it doesn't fall in. So like you kind of have to like you have to like play with it a little bit and so sometimes I'll maneuver it and put it so it's down so it definitely doesn't like plop in. So it's like this. And then when I hit it, like sometimes it gets a nice spin and like takes off. And other times it's just like, but it's always fun. So feel free to flick that line.
Agave field or tasting room?
Oh, I like that question. I know I'm supposed to rapid fire. Um, I do love the fields. I love the fields. They're magic.
Okay. Most overrated tequila trend right now?
Crystalinos.
All right. Just to kind of close things out, where can everyone find you on social media?
If you want to, it's Tequila Encyclopedia. I know. Encyclopedia is hard to spell. I know. Mine, because someone's trying to be me, which is really cute. Good luck. My Tequila Encyclopedia is the one with all the followers. Shade. And the one with the light pink, not the one with the guy and the underscore who like has like 3 posts and is trying to be me. So I'll pull
So,
it.
that's so interesting that you say that because someone actually stole my logo
No, did they really?
and started using it on TikTok. I got banned from TikTok permanently for life because I sent him a cease and desist message and reported him. And so I got blocked for life. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, and the funny thing is in my logo, there's stuff hidden in the logo, so I know it's my logo.
Like what type of stuff's hidden in it? I like it. I've been staring at it this whole time.
We'll talk offline as to what it is, but there's some stuff that's hidden in it.
Yeah, I was looking at it like it's fascinating. I could just stare at it.
All right. Well, Marissa, I thank you for your time and I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Before we close. Yes, you should follow Tequila Encyclopedia, obviously. But we also have a show called Tequiladies, and you should definitely follow that too. And that is spelled like it's actually spelled tequila dies, believe it or not. It's believe it or not. So it's tequila ladies, but we got out a few. So it's Tequiladies. Tequila dies. But it's Tequiladies. You should definitely follow that because that's where all the peeps are watching. See, boom. That's where you can watch all of our episodes. That's where you can make fun of us blatantly. Tequiladies. Follow that too.
Or you could give them compliments because they do amazing content and their show's amazing.
And as my grandma would say, compliments cost nothing. So you could do that.
This is true.
Shade costs nothing too. So feel free to hate if you want, but be prepared for a light roast.
Strive to be a better person daily.
That's hard. If you're already up here, I don't know. So start down, set achievable goals. Be a shithead today so that tomorrow you're slightly above a shithead and then slightly above that. You know?
Marissa, thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, great to finally talk with you. I really appreciate being a guest.
All right. Have a good night, guys.